What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. Let's talk. All right? Let's talk to the Atlanta United players. Because what does this mean? What does this mean to you? Joseph Martinez, Ezekiel Barco, Julian Gressel, pretty much everyone out there except for Darlington Nagbe. What does this badge mean to you? Because what I just saw out there was complete shit. It was worthless, it was pointless, it was terrible. We had a chance. We were in the driver's seat for the Supporter Shield. We were in the driver's seat to be number one in the league above everybody else. Who cares what happens in the playoffs? Because we were the best in the league. We were the best of the best over however many games, 34, whatever it is. We were the best out of all of those games. We had a chance to break the points record. We had a chance to further the wins record. And what do? 4-1 loss to sorry-ass motherfucking Toronto. That was embarrassing to watch. That was watching rec ball. I mean, just seriously. What more invitation do you need? You need to win. You know Toronto is going to beat Orlando. Because Orlando is shit. Toronto has the referees at their backs. They're playing well right now. They're going to win. You have to go out there and you have to win. And from the very first kick of the ball, it was obvious. We were not in the game mentally. We were not in the game physically. We weren't ready for that. And I do not know how you cannot possibly get yourself up and ready for a game like that. For a game with that much importance, how can you not be ready? How can you not be going 100% the entire game? Oh, but the field was terrible. Yeah, did Toronto not have to play on the field? Did they have to play on some other field while we got to play on the crappy field? I'm pretty sure both teams were out there. Oh, but Toronto plays there all the time, so they're used to it. So? It's a pitch. It's a field with grass. I don't care if there are bumps. You're a professional soccer player. You shut your crying ass up and you go and play. It does not matter the condition, how cold it is, how bad the field is, how bad the refs are. You get your butt out there and you play like you mean it. And that was not it. It wasn't until the second half when things got, oh no, we actually have to win, guys. We have to actually go out there and do something. You didn't feel that at the beginning of the game? And even then, we still didn't do enough. We did not do enough because we were not creating enough chances. We were not doing enough in the final third to mean anything. Martinez is back to the exact same Martinez that he was at the end of last season that pissed me off. Because he's not trying, he doesn't give a damn, he's just going out there and he's just like, I'm just going to wait for the game to come to me. And then he scores a penalty and he thinks, oh, well, I did my job. No, you didn't. You didn't do anything the entire game. You were useless. Again. It's like once he broke the record, it was just like, what else do I have to do, you know? I'm just done. He hasn't been involved in the past few games. And it showed. We've had difficulty in the final third because he's not making himself available. Barco, today, why did we pay? We should have paid a penny for him based on what I saw today. He was awful. He didn't work hard enough. Every time he got the ball, it felt like it was going to be a giveaway because he did nothing with it. Gressel, back to being Gressel. Back to being that same player from last year that everybody was raving about because, oh, he's assisting and scoring. But he's not really a good player. He's not doing anything because he's not in his position. Remedi, useless. Lorenowitz, useless. Franco Escobar, Chris McCann, useless. Perez and Parkhurst, I mean, it's like they've never played together before today. At least based on what it looked like. And they've been two of our most solid players all year. How on earth do they come out looking like our weakest players today? Like, what had to have happened before this game that caused that? Because there has to be something. There's no way they just went out there and were just like, oh well, guys, you know what? We had a good season. We had a good run. Who cares if we win the league? It's mind-boggling. Because it's not like we went out there and we gave them a good game, we fought hard, and they were just the better team. No, they were terrible too. But we were just more terrible than them today. And that's embarrassing, because Toronto's been one of the worst teams in the league this season, aside from, like, Orlando. And we got crushed. we were embarrassed today by them. And it wasn't even, most of the time I would say the referees had something to do with it. They didn't even do anything to let them into the game. Most of the time I would have expected that. I would have expected Giovinco to dive, and he did, and they gave him a couple calls for it. But it's not like he did any of that today. It's not like he benefited from any of that today. The only problems I have with the ref were the one where VAR was used to call back their goal, because how can the assistant not see that the guy is clearly offside? And then the one where they didn't use VAR at all to look at Martinez's, who didn't really look like he was offside. He might have been. It was tight, but they didn't even bother to check VAR for that one. The guy just let the play go on, goal scored, and then he's like, oh no, that was actually offside. I let it play, but I had it the whole time. It was offside. And then VAR is just like, sitting on our thumbs, I don't know what's going on. And then didn't even bother to say anything. So those were the only two real problems, but it doesn't change much. You know, the goal for them got taken back, and the goal for Martinez, it ended up being Gressel's goal. It may have been offside, so VAR not being used may not even change anything, but the refs were not involved. So there's not even an excuse there. It's just we played a crap game, and Toronto benefited from it. They probably could not believe their luck when we started just giving the ball to them. When we started just passing it right to their feet, they're like, oh my gosh, I thought we were playing Atlanta United. I didn't know we were going to be playing. Let me think of a team that sucks. I didn't know we were going to be playing the men's national team. I have to make comedy or else I'm going to punch something like right now. So, I mean, I don't feel like I need to talk individuals. Tata, as far as he's concerned, I mean, if the coach is not able to get you motivated for the last game of the season that could win you the league, what are you doing as a coach? And honestly, I mean, why is Tito not starting? If he's healthy enough to play, why is he not starting? That was mind-boggling to me. But, I mean, the main thing is, just like last season, we're going into playoffs on kind of a iffy end of the season. And same thing that happened last year. You know, Martinez is not playing well. Almiron is out injured. We're going into the playoffs. Who knows what's going to happen? And that's the frustrating thing about it. There's so many games this year we didn't get the job done. We didn't do what we were supposed to. And now look at where we are. We're in second place, going into the playoffs on a bad run. Or not necessarily a bad run, but a bad performance, a terrible performance on that. And now playoffs are such a toss-up. You know, you could lose in the first round of playoffs that you play because who knows? You know, it's 2 games to decide your future in the playoffs. I don't know what that was. But that's my issue, though. We should have gotten the job done and said, all right, look, we've won the league. When it comes to playoffs, it's a 50-50. You know, you play 2 games home and away, and then you go to the championship, you play that, and then if you win that, you go to the final. At that point, it's just a tournament. And tournaments are very iffy. They're very much a toss-up. And that's why I've always thought the playoffs, at least for soccer, is such a bad idea. Because it's like anybody can win on any given night if you just set up to play for that specific thing. It takes a real talented team to win after a long season. And so the fact that we didn't get the job done and we didn't win the Supporters' Shield, even though we were in the driver's seat for it, just tells me we didn't want it enough. So how are we going to get up and how are we going to want it enough whenever we get to playoffs? How are we going to get players like Martinez to actually play? How are we going to get players like Barco, who just was useless tonight, how are we going to get him to actually play? And this isn't the worst part about all of this. This wasn't even a game for Toronto. This was not even a point. There was nothing to it. All they were really shooting for was, oh, well, we can take some points away from Atlanta. We can mess up them if we want to. But that's all they were playing for. They didn't have playoffs. They don't have jobs to play for. Who cares about this game? And yet they still beat us 4-1 because we gave them the game. So, all that being said, I really, there's not much more that I can say. I already got my frustration out at the beginning of this video. Now talking more tactical stuff, I mean, there's not much I can say. You just didn't do your job. You didn't work hard enough. You didn't make the pass. You couldn't complete passes tonight. I mean, that's key foundation. You've got to pass. You've got to complete passes. They didn't do that. So it's not like I can talk tactics or anything because Who cares about the tactics? Who cares how the team was set up? They couldn't complete passes. They gave the ball away at least 100-something times tonight. So, I mean, what else can I say? And that's, as a fan, I'm pissed off. As somebody who reviews soccer games, I'm like, this is going to be such a short video because, I mean, there's not much more I can say about it. It was a terrible game. It was a terrible performance. And now we're going to playoffs. And that's the only hope we have of winning anything this season. And that's embarrassing. To end this season with no trophies would be absolutely embarrassing after the year we had. Last season, it was like, okay, it's our first season. You know, we didn't end the season with any trophies, but we had a good run, made it to playoffs, got knocked out the first round, but it was our first season, so next year we're going to come in stronger, which we did. We're going to do better. We're going to win something, which, where's the trophies now? You know, Open Cup, knocked out second round. Supporter Shield gave that up on the last day when we were in the prime position. Now we're going to playoffs. And who knows? Who knows what's going to happen when it comes to that, because that's, you're leaving your destiny to chance. And that's embarrassing to me. For being a fan of a club that I believe has the potential to be pretty much the main stand, you know, foundation of building the MLS into a bigger and more quality-driven league. I mean, the way we've set up with the coach we have, with the players we have, with the fan base we have, it's grown, I think, the sport overall. And so to see that happen on the last day, to see a team like that just collapse on the last day, it's just like, what was this whole season for then? You know, what was all of that? What was the nice run we went on? All that, you know, great play on the road, you know, great performances. What was all that for now? For us to make it to playoffs and hope for the best. That's not exciting to me. That's not fulfilling for me. If we do win playoffs, well, great. You know, we managed to win the toss-up. Congratulations. I'm more pissed about this. I feel like this made our season not a success. Because what was the point of this whole season if not to win the league? And that's one of the things I feel like the MLS really gets wrong, is that you don't really feel, unless you're winning the Supporter Shield, it's hard to really get excited. You know, it's hard to really feel like, yes, we did it. Because who cares? You're in the top 6 out of 11 on your side of the bracket. You know? I just don't feel like the excitement is truly there for that. But winning the league, being number 1 out of 22 teams, that's impressive. Actually, 23 now. I mean, that's an impressive feat. But we gave it away. I don't know. I feel like I could talk about this forever. I feel like I could just go on and on and on and on. There's not much more I can say. I've said my piece. It's up to the players now, and it's up to the coaches to prove me wrong. You know, go into the MLS playoffs, go and just tear it up, show that this season was not for nothing. Go win a trophy, because honestly, that's the only way that this season's going to be a success. Because I don't care if it's our second season. We've been good enough. We've had enough quality players. We have the quality on the coaching staff. We should go and get a trophy for this season. And we've already failed in one venture. Now it's time to make sure that doesn't happen again. It should hurt a little bit. It should be like, that was an embarrassment. That was a ridiculous way to end the season. Let's show that was just a mistake. But with that being said, it doesn't feel like it is. It feels like we've always had that in us. It feels like that is a performance that we've had a couple times this season. The defensive just mistakes with that back four. I mean, how open we leave ourselves. It feels like that could happen on any night. And that's why I don't like going into playoffs. Because we could have another performance like that out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, oh, look, you're done. You're out. See ya. So, I'm done talking about it. I'm going to go to bed because now I have a headache because I got pissed off. But yeah, so that's it for me. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this game? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe. Future Atlanta United reviews. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.